This is the Uptick Newswire Stock Day Podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube to stay up to date on penny stock news and interviews, public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world, with your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, I'm very excited to have a returning guest. You know, in my eyes, maybe one of the best CEOs out there, and I'll tell you why. In 2015, they did $13.3 million in revenue. In 2016, they took it to 20.1. That's a 70% increase. And then 2017 first quarter, they did 6.6. On that trajectory of 2017, they would end up somewhere north of $24 million in 2017. We're talking no other than Pro-Dex. They trade on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol PDEX. And with us today is the CEO, Rick Van Kirk. Rick, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. Very glad to be here.
Give my listeners a little bit about Statement. We've gotten so many new listeners since the last time you've been on the show. So bring them up to speed what you guys are all about.
We're a medical device manufacturer headquartered in Irvine, California. The company's been around about 40 years. It started off as a company that would make dental products and air motors, and about 20 years ago transitioned into medical device, and have been really focused on that. Been serving as a manufacturer for most of the major medical device distributors out there, becoming more of a manufacturing/technology company now. We've just come through a 3 or 4 year turnaround process and feeling pretty good about recent results and what's to come.
You know, last time that we spoke, you guys were investing in some startup technology companies. Can you give us a progress report? How are things going?
It's going pretty well. That company, with some of our help, has now hired or actually started paying some of their engineers. And they made really good progress on some key milestones, and that's important for a couple of reasons. One, our next wave of investment was keyed on some of those milestones, but more importantly, some of the major fundraising efforts will be expedited by some of these good results. And that fundraising is key. It does a couple things. One, it certainly helps them move their product closer to FDA approval. And then for Pro-Dex, it's important because once they raise a certain amount of funds, we'll start getting some manufacturing development work from that company with our products here. So we're excited about the progress. It's a long way to go. It's going to be a lot of work, but so far so good.
Are you guys concentrating on M&A right now?
No, we're really not focused on that. You know, it's something that we would be, I guess, opportunistic about if an opportunity or something came up that made sense for us. Right now, the focus is internal on the medical device and some of the new products and technologies we're working on.
You know, you guys have such a great company over there. I had a couple emails sent in to me, and some of the emails said, they've got such a great company over there. Their revenues are exceeding expectations. Why is the trailing PE ratio so low? I think it's at 5.6. Can you elaborate on that? And your volume seems to be a little low too, but your float's not that much at 2.2. Can you bring us an update on that, about your PE ratio and the growth of the company a little bit?
Yeah, it seems like some of those figures aren't keeping up with the results. Our philosophy with this management team and board over the last 3 or 4 years was to to clean up our act, become strong operationally, worry about kind of the internal stuff first, and then first hope results would speak for themselves and generate interest in things in the market. We've come through a lot of that, and we're learning now that we need to continue to grow as a company, and part of that is getting out more and sharing the story, which we're trying to do, and certainly appreciate opportunities like this, Everett, to talk to people about what's going on and things. So it's something that as we transition into some new products, new technology, new Pro-Dex, I think that we'll make more of an effort to do that and get out and do road shows and things like that to really get the stock prices, some other numbers up where we think they should be.
My guest today is Rick Van Kirk. He is the CEO of Pro-Dex. They trade on the NASDAQ, ticker symbol PDEX. Just to give you some metrics on the company, their market cap is only around $24.6 million, and I project that the revenues will be around $24 million in sales in 2017. That's only a 1.1 ratio. If you want to value a company, I used to do that a lot in my 30s. the value of this company should be about 3 or 4 times where it's at. Stock price is at $6.15. You recently started doing some other plans, continuing to bring out some new products. Where are we at in the process of that? Because you guys keep on bringing out great quarters every time that I turn around.
So we released a new product, launched a new product last quarter. It's going very well. We've gotten good feedback from the customer. The doctors seem to like it. Our customer, the distributor of the product, has actually increased their orders, which is a good sign for us. And recent weeks, I actually was on the phone with one of their members of senior management, and he said this was the best powered medical device he'd ever seen or worked with in his career, which we took to be very encouraging. So that launch is complete. It's out there, and we've got a couple other things in development that they're the early stage of development, and some proposals we got with customers. So we kind of hope to build on the momentum. But the recent product release has gone very well.
So what is your plans to continue to take the company forward and the growth of the company?
Well, as you imagine, there's a few pieces to something like that. What's nice about the recent good results is that we're really able to reinvest into the company. We'll invest in equipment and processes, but more importantly, a couple of things we'll focus investment in is people. I think I might have mentioned in recent calls that we have an internal development focus here. We want people to grow with the company, help the company grow. And then also, obviously, we're going to be reinvesting or continue to invest in some of the new products and technologies that we're working on. We've talked before, I think, about leveraging our products and technology and kind of upselling. And one way we've been doing that before is with a big company or a big customer, they've got other divisions that could use the same product. So if we're selling a cranial screwdriver to a CMF division, perhaps their spine division or extremities division would be interested in that. And we've made a lot of inroads and discussions and have some proposals out in that area. But what we're also doing now, in addition to that, another way to try to upsell or increase our growth and volume is we're coming up with some new technologies, new features, kind of add-on features to the product that we already have. So it's another way we can branch out and try to grow the thing here. And through all this, we really want to present ourselves or share with the world that while we've been an established manufacturer or contract manufacturer for years for this industry, we're still a manufacturer, but also becoming more of a technology company, and that we provide technical type solutions too, whether it's with product ideas, engineering services, quality services, that we can help people in a lot of different ways. So by opening the apertures in these ways and being able to reinvest, we're in a nice position here to move this thing forward, I think.
My guest today is Rick Van Kirk, CEO of Pro-Dex. They trade on the NASDAQ. Ticker symbol PDEX. In closing, Rick, is there anything that we didn't get a chance to touch upon that you would like to get out there to the listeners?
Just some things maybe we hadn't had a chance to talk about before, and we were just talking about customers in the sales process. So, we started to turn around 3 or 4 years ago, and we've really made some changes with the management team. And through that time, the management team has matured. And one of the benefits of that, in particular with business development, is we're getting deeper knowledge and infiltration with the customers, which really goes hand in hand with trying to leverage technologies and some bolt-on features to them. So we're getting deeper into organizations and having more productive conversations. And as I mentioned earlier, we have some really nice proposals out there for doing that. At the risk of repeating myself, we like to think we're becoming more of a technology provider for people, a technical company. And I know I've mentioned this before, and again, I apologize to repeat myself, but I really think it's important for people to know about Pro-Dex is that alignment is a big word for us. And we're aligned from the board through anyone in engineering and the manufacturing shop and accounting. We really try to communicate well, keep people on the same page. We are a small company that has to be very nimble and try a lot of things. And it could be confusing to people in the company if we're doing multiple efforts and all over the place. So we really focus on communicating to people, thanking them for their efforts, A, and B, explaining to them why we're trying different things so they can feel good about some of the different things we're trying and what their efforts are getting put into. So one of the problems we had before the turnaround is the company still behaved like a large company and just kind of sat around waiting for things to happen. We can't do that. We need to move and be nimble and make things happen. I don't think you can do that unless everyone's on the same page and has the same understanding and feels good about what's going on. So that's something that it's kind of corny a little bit, but I would like it if the listeners would know that about Pro-Dex.
I think that was very well said. Rick Van Kirk is our guest today with Pro-Dex. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I wish you nothing but continued success. Hopefully you'll come back on the show in 60 days, give us an update of where we're at and what we're doing. Again, thank you very much for taking time out, Rick, and coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Everett. I love doing this. Anytime you want, give me a call. I'll come back on.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire, LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are those of the guests and those of the respective companies they represent, and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Uptick Newswire. Uptick Newswire encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of this program may have paid for its distribution and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Newswire or this station.